so everybody just kind of find yourself, situate yourself wherever you're sitting so that you can get comfortable. We don't have to necessarily be Indian style on the floor or anything. We're just gonna close our eyes and invite our mind to start to wind down. Now, on this meditation, we are gonna really set our intention to keep an open mind and an open heart, because we're likely gonna see ourselves in a way that we haven't ever in the past. And we want to be open to new ideas, to new versions, and to new opportunities that the universe may have for us today. Some of us may already have an image in our head of what we want to be in the future. Some of us may have never thought about it before. And either way, that's absolutely perfect. I like to update mine and see what she looks like today, knowing that life is a moving scale. So to start off, we're going to do a couple of box breaths. So we're going to take 5 breaths up, 6 breaths down, pausing for just a couple of seconds in between. So we're going to start to inhale in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. And then exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to do that again. Deep inhale in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Then we're going to let it out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now this time when you breathe in, I want you to inhale in as deep as you can, and I want you to see how much air you can let inside of your lungs. And when you think that your lungs are full, I want you to just breathe a little bit more air into them. And see how full you can truly get your lungs, and just hold there for a second. Start to really set an intention to notice the pause between the breath. When we inhale in, we hold, there's a nice pause. And then when you let your next exhale out, I want you to really let it out. Just let all of the air out of your lungs. And when you think that there's no more air left, I want you to just push a little bit more out. Just see how empty that you can get your lungs. And then on your next breath in, I want you to set an intention to really put gratitude for the prana that's coming into our lungs. When we rid our body of our prana, of our life force, of our breath, and we hold at the bottom of that breath and really set an intention to experience our bodies with no air in the lungs, that next breath in is so beautiful. And this really starts to regulate our internal nervous system. It really starts to invite our bodies to get to this subconscious level, to be able to access that beautiful part of our mind that knows all of the answers that we need today. So we're going to take one more deep breath in, get our lungs as full as we can. Notice the pause between the breath. Exhale out as much of the air as you can. And then I want you to find yourself at a breath pace that feels right for you. Settling into our bodies, settling into our minds and into our heart. And finding comfortability for where we are today. Then we're going to find ourselves on a path. Now this path is perfect for you. So I want you to take a second to create it that way. If nothing instantly came to mind, set just a second to create your path. Is it by the beach? Is it in the forest? Is it in a city? When you look down, is the path concrete? Is it dirt? Is it sand? What does the path look like? I also want you to notice if you're standing on the path in first person or third person. Do you see yourself standing on the path, or are you looking down at your shoes or at your feet? If you're not currently looking down at your feet, I want you to bring yourself into that perspective. And now you are standing on the path. You look down, you see your feet on the path. You're looking through your own eyes. And we're going to start to take a walk down the path today. Shortly down this path, we come to a place where it breaks off into 5 separate paths. And as we stand in front of these 5 separate paths, I want you to take one more moment to start to notice some details around this experience. What is the temperature of the air outside? Do you smell anything? Do you smell flowers or beach, or what does it smell like? I want you to look around and notice the colors. Is your path in color? Are you seeing it in black and white? If it's not in color, we're going to put it in color. And I want you to just turn those colors up just a little bit. Those colors just get a little bit more vibrant now. And now we're going to take off walking down path 1. And as we start venturing down path 1, we see a version of ourselves standing there that has made one small change. And whatever change comes to mind for you right now is likely the change that your subconscious brain already knows that you need to make. And here you are standing on this path, and there's a version of you that's made that one small change. It's not even anything big, it's something small. And you've done it. And you're standing there now. And I want you to notice what that person looks like. And what benefits have they gotten from making this one small change? And now I want to ask you to give yourself just a moment to see what this version of yourself would say to you right now. Would they say thank you for making this change? Would they tell you that it was worth it? Would they encourage you to keep going? What does this version of you have to say to yourself? I want us to notice all of the benefits that come from this change. Maybe it's benefits with our body, maybe it's benefits with our mind, with our heart, with our health, maybe it's benefits to our relationships. And I want us to be very aware of not only how this person looks, but how they feel, how they operate, how they carry themselves, the influence that they have over others that mean a lot to them. And we are going to give this person a hug or a high five, whatever feels right for you. And we're going to start moving towards path 2. So as we start walking down path 2, there is a version of you standing there that has made a couple of small changes. A couple things. And whatever those changes are perfect for you. And this version of you has absolutely crushed the assignment. I want us to pay attention to what do they look like? How do they feel? What's the quality of their character? What's the quality of their relationships? How do they move? How do they operate? What impact are they leaving on the world now? Because of these few small changes that they've been able to make in themselves. I'd like to say that as we heal ourselves, we heal generations before and after us. As above, so below. And as you make these changes for yourself, I want you to be mindful of the changes that happen in those around you as well. And we want to give this person just a second to see what they may share with us. See if they have anything that they want our current version of ourselves to know. And as we start to wrap up with this version of ourselves, we're going to give them a high five. Practice being our own bestie, cheering ourselves on, past, present, and future. It's all an important part of self-love. So I want you to give them a hug, a high five, whatever feels right for you, so that we can start moving down path 3. Now, as we walk down path 3, we meet a version of ourselves that's made some pretty major changes, some pretty major ones. They weren't easy to do. It didn't come easy. It wasn't a couple small tweaks. It was some pretty major stuff. And there they are, this beautiful version of us that has only been able to manifest because of the major things that we were willing to go inside and do, the major work. And they're standing there. and they're looking at you today. And they know that you're the version of them that chose to make these big changes, and they're grateful that you are here to see the results of the work that you have put in. And we're going to start to notice, what is their energy like? What are their emotions like? What are they wearing? How do they feel? What is the impact that they're making in their community and in the world, in their families? And we want to give this version of ourselves an opportunity to share something with ourselves today. And if you'll keep your heart open to it, the next few paths will be very beautiful, because this version of ourselves is so grateful for the person that we are today. And oftentimes this is the most powerful, beautiful love that we can even experience. One of the most powerful loves in the world is our self-love. And the future you that's done the work is so grateful for the you that decided to do the work. So as you look at this person, I also want you to open yourself to receive their love, to receive their gratitude for you and who you are today in this very moment. When we become aware of the quality of their relationships, the quality of their health and their emotions in their life, and we'll give them just a second to see if they have anything that they want to share with us today. And we will give them a hug, we will give them a high five. Because it is time for us to head over to path 4. Now when we start walking down path 4, there stands a really, really, really beautiful, powerful version of ourselves. This is the best possible version of ourselves. This is the best. This person has accomplished every single thing that we ever wanted to accomplish. They have held back none. They've made every single change that they know that they need to make, big and small. They've followed their guidance, they've done the work, and they have become every single thing that you have the possibility to become. And they're standing there, and they're waiting for you. Now I want us to notice, what changes did they make? How do they move differently? How do they look? How do they feel? How do they speak to themselves and to others? What are the deposits that they're making into their mind as they create their beliefs and the operational systems that they experience life through? What is the quality of their thoughts? What chemicals do they release every day? And as we see this beautiful version of ourselves, we want to open ourselves up to receive the gratitude that they have for the person that stepped in and made this life possible. Because nobody else was going to step in and do it for you. And they're so grateful that you stepped up to the plate, because they're living their best life. Thanks to you. If you can just allow this person to hug you, to embrace you, to open up to that beautiful self-love, we'll go ahead and do that now. And then we are going to start walking over to path 5. And down path 5, we find a version of ourselves that we never even knew could possibly exist. Never even thought about this version of ourselves before. It's just bigger and more than we ever possibly thought that we would become. It takes path 4 and just blows it up almost to unreasonable levels of what we've been able to accomplish. This version of you has not listened to the negative programming. It's not held itself back at all. In fact, it shows up every single day to be the divine being that God created it to be. And it's stayed consistent, and it's done the work, and it's gone farther than we've ever imagined that it could possibly go. And because of that, the world is different. Because of that, not only is our life different, but the lives of everybody around us is different, because we came in and we made a huge splash and a huge impact in the exact ways that we were personally meant to make. And I want us to notice, what does this version of ourselves look like? What are they doing? Who do they surround themselves with? What do they do for fun? How do they think? How do they walk? How do they talk? What accomplishments do they have underneath their belt? And we want to see what this version of ourselves would say to our current self today. What guidance would they give us? What moves would they encourage us to make? What advice would they have for us? Before we leave path 5, we want to open ourselves up to receive the love and the gratitude that this version of us has for ourselves today, for the version of us that decided to do the work, decided to make the changes, both big and small, decided to open our hearts, our minds, our souls, to really have no expectations or limitations on ourselves, knowing that we are divine beings that can create any life that we desire, even a life bigger than we've ever known that we've desired before. There's no limits on us. And this version of ourselves knows that. So what would they say to you today? What love and gratitude would they extend your way today? And when you're ready, you can give this version of yourself a hug, a high five. And I want it to bring you back to the middle of the paths, where we can see all 5 of them in a straight row. And now today I'm going to ask you to just make a move down the path. It doesn't matter if you choose path 1 or path 5. It's all a step towards the greater future version of yourself that you're working towards. So I want you to choose a path. We're going to choose a path that we're going to adopt, to accept, and that we're going to anchor in, so that we can start to work on this version of ourselves today. And we're all in different places, and we all have different changes that we need to make. So I just want to ask you to pick the path that feels right for you right now. And then become consciously aware of what needs to happen to start creating this version of us today. And when you know yours and you're comfortable, then you can start to wiggle around, open your eyes, bring yourself back to this room and this world again. And just make a few notes on what we